it's self-effacing with a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's a perfect way. It's a perfect way to say it. And you get that too in the Ghetto Boy song when he talks about the
Yes.
senior citizens, and you talk like there are there's the sense that this is a problem, but one of the ways you deal with it is humor too.
Yes. But isn't that what we're taught to deal with it? You
Yeah.
know, laugh to keep from crying.
But you have to do that, and that's what I've had to learn as an older person too, is that you can deal with it by laugh through laughter, but you also have to deal with it like for
You
real.
have to deal with it. Yes, there it
Like
is.
you have to do both, right?
Just real quick, and we can kind of wrap it up right here. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, it's what happened to me. It's like I didn't realize how many things I hadn't dealt with. I didn't realize how many things she hadn't dealt with, like long before
Yeah,
we were ever came to
yeah,
be. Yeah. And it's fascinating when you sit alone in your four corner room staring at candles, how much you realize those things,
you're like, oh, oh,
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah,
and you got to deal
brilliant
with
record
it,
stuff.
and not you, but like all of us have things we have to deal with. So,
No, I mean, me too. That's part of the reason why I'm being so upfront about it. I'm actually about to do an interview for Voyage Atlanta magazine. They've
mhm.
chosen me to be part of their hidden gem section. I hope I actually get published, but I'm going to be talking about some of these mental health issues in the article that I'm doing, and
That's awesome.
talking about yeah, and talking about Fire's disease and some of the things that she was affected by from what
Mhm.
happened to her, and just like everything. Because I realize as a man, I have to lead and start talking about these things,
Yeah,
and I have to start by talking about, I always tell people, like, and you know this because you know me dearly. I always talk to people about my failures and never about my success. When I'm successful at something, like I barely ever bring it up. Like, I'm like, all jokes aside, how often do you hear me bring up according to hip hop, Andrew?
like when our conversations,
Yeah,
only when I bring it up.
right. It's a big success, and it keeps on getting more successful. But it's like that's not the perspective that I want to speak from. I want to talk about the things that can be better,
Hmm.
the ways I can be better, the ways I can correct things. So
Yeah,
always talk about the failure, not the success. So that's really where this mental health thing is coming from too, is coming from a place of failure, not from a place of success. I don't know more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah,
actually just figuring a lot of things out. And I think there are a lot of black men like me that are afraid
yeah,
and just need to start talking about it and sharing and saying something.
yeah. And to come full circle, that's what Scarface is talking about, right? He is saying like I have shit that's going on, man. Like it's not, and it destigmatizes it. And the fact what he did and what you're doing too is creating space for other people to do it, to be able to
Yeah.
talk about it too, and have it being like not this is not a. I mean, it is a serious deal, but it's not a big deal. Like it's not it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less of a man or whatever else. It just means that we all have our shit, man. We like every single one of us, me included,
Yeah. Yeah.
has
Like this,
this, and it's not. I mean,
how about this? Like, I don't think this is what I mean about you have to be honest about stuff. My father and I, we have a great relationship right now.
mhm,
I didn't really meet my father, have a relationship with my father till I was 19 years old. Um, when I look at my failures in relationships, particularly the last one,
mhm,
I would be a fool at 41 years old if I told you that not having a man around to show me how to be the man of the house, leader of the home, deal with a woman in love, deal with a woman in strife. You get what I'm saying? These aren't things situationally that you're supposed to be thrust into.
right,
You are supposed to be taught. And I didn't realize how little I had been taught
mhm,
and how much I had just been freestyling and going off my best instinct and intuition
mhm,
until I'm sitting here by myself.
yeah,
And so it's real. And I, if I would have dealt with this 10 years ago,
mhm,
instead of trying to work my way through it or acting like it really doesn't exist,
mhm,
things might be different.
Right.
So we have to acknowledge these things as early as we possibly can
Yeah.
so we can get the help that we need as early as we possibly can.
Exactly. There's plenty of things that I figured out when I was 38 or 40 or whatever that I'm like, and I'm having these conversations. I mean, I have all girls too. So, but I'm having these conversations with them. Like, I want you to be able to deal with anxiety, for example. Um, Not that it doesn't ever go away, but like be able to have ways to deal with it when you're 14, when you're young. Like, I don't want you to wait until you're 40 to figure this shit out. I want you to like use my experiences to your benefit.
Well, to that, and let's speak to that right quick because I suffer from the same thing, and so does my daughter. I have watched my daughter in the past year and a half um, have a whole new outlook and view and learn how to deal with her anxiety at 15, 16, and
Mhm.
quite frankly, in a way that I didn't learn how to maybe till a year or two ago.
Yeah, exactly.
if
Right.
even if even still, if we're being honest.
No, it's a process, right? You have to
Right,
for me anyway, you have to figure out something that works for you. But most of the things that work, meditation and breathing and exercise, I mean all of those things, um they are things that you can't do one. They're not cures, right? They're not things you can do once and
right.
then say, I'm better now, right? Like you have to keep doing them over and over and over and over and over and over. And in that consistent practice is how it doesn't ever go away, but it makes me more able to deal with it most of the
My
time.
da- my daughter, part of why this happened, Andrew, and I'm not going
Hmm.
to share what it is exactly, but my daughter has a routine that she
Hmm.
does every morning when she gets up before she does anything else, and
Yeah.
I've watched it change things.
Yeah. I have the one that I do before I go to bed at night. That's how it works. Yeah.
And it's working because there's a sense of calmness
Hmm.
over her that literally wasn't there this time a
Right.
year ago. And so the manifestation of watching her grow and learn how to deal with these issues, but
Mhm.
and not giving myself credit, but she's dealing with a parent, at least in me, because I can't speak to mom, you know what I
Right.
mean? Because that's not my place. But in me, she has somebody who's being very, very honest
Hmm.
about the things that I have failed out in life and in
Hmm.
love and why. And I literally tell my daughter, it's like, I'm not doing this for you to be in my circumstances.
Right.
I'm doing everything that I do so that your circumstances and situations are better, but I cannot force upon you
Right. All
anything.
of this stuff is stuff you have to do for yourself. Like I can
But
show you
she's
the road, but
but she is taking it to heart. Like I've told my daughter a few things about like, what life is like, leaving the parents' home. And she is taking heed to it in a serious nature that has just made me proud as a father. I mean, she didn't become a
he
straight
seems
A
like a
student.
really, really cool kid. Yeah.
She is, but she didn't become a straight A student until high school. But that's because I stressed her. It's like I was like, that like, who you are is about who it's about to be. She like, oh, it's go time. And since it's been go time, I've just watched her blossom.
Hmm.
But those are the things me and her mother taught her. And at least on my side, because like I said, can't speak to what mom is sharing
Hmm.
about any issues mom may have. But I've been so upfront,
Yeah.
in particular because I'm raising a daughter, about where I have failed as a man in love
Hmm.
and the things that she should not tolerate from men,
Exactly. You shouldn't put up with this. Hmm.
including some of the things that I've done. It's like, hey, I don't want you to, I
Hmm.
mean, like Andrew,
You're saying like
I've
I shouldn't have done this. Like,
right. Well, I
yeah.
mean, well, for one thing, I don't want for her, I don't want her to be with a man that works the hours and the types of schedule that I work because I
Right.
see what it's done to me relationally. Now, the rationale for working that schedule is actually my daughter because having this
Right.
topsy turvy schedule gives me the agility to get her wherever she's needed to go for the past decade.
Right.
But do I want that for her? Fuck no.
Exactly.
Right.